Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Foxstar Gaming, and welcome to the podcast. I have Hellganajack here, who is co-starring. Jack, how's your night going?
Amusing. Word to sum it up.
Amusing towards what?
Amusing. Interacting with people on a professional basis never serves to. No, it never fails to entertain me.
I can understand that. You said you were starting a new military simulation online, right?
Yeah, I am. Started that about 2 years ago. It
Two
has
years.
grown farther than I would have expected.
I mean, that's
I, I,
honestly
I,
pretty nice.
I've had to learn to delegate. Not something I ever, not a skill I've had to acquire.
Well, by the sounds of it, you've now acquired it.
Yes and no. It could always be better, but it's not the worst. Occasionally, some friends of mine do have to remind me that I can't do it all.
Yeah.
But then again, that's what friends are for, reminding you to, hey, take a step back.
Yeah, sometimes it's a good thing to do,
Yep.
especially the more complex something is. I can't tell you how many times I've just finally stopped for the night. I go to bed, I wake up in the morning, instantly I know what to do. It's really refreshing when that happens. I guess I wouldn't say refreshing, but relieving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Generally, if I make any big decisions, I like to sleep on it.
Hmm.
I don't make the decision right away unless it's time crunch. If I can have the opportunity, I'd rather sleep on it.
Right. So let's talk about something really I can't even find the word, but interesting in kind of a weird way, but also kind of a serious way. A plant called rhubarb. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I know, it tastes great in pie. I mean, it's especially when you add the strawberries to it. I mean,
I
it's probably
I
my
haven't
favorite
had the
food
chance to
pie.
try the strawberry section yet, but classic rhubarb pie, definitely one of my favorites.
Always. What really kind of makes me wonder on that is how many trials and errors did it take for one person or one culture to prepare it right? Because for those of you who don't know, if rhubarb is not prepared correctly, it is very lethal. I would not recommend uh, preparing it at home unless you really know what you're doing. But it's just I don't know. I've
The,
thought
the
maybe
better question,
yeah, go ahead.
the better question would be how many, how did we discover that cows give milk?
That honestly, that would be a good question for another podcast. I'll hold on to that one if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
So um so my thought is especially way back when, I mean, I honestly do not know when rhubarb was first discovered or really where it comes from. I could do a little bit of research on that, but different cultures, they cook and prepare different foods different ways. So I'm wondering if like culture A, they maybe they just ate it raw. Those people died.
Well,
Culture.
no, I mean, some people have an natural immunity to things. For instance, the Native Americans, they process alcohol differently.
Oh, I'm sure.
Um, yeah.
And
So the way they
tobacco.
process alcohol, yeah, tobacco especially. Um, so the average person will get drunk off of say 3 shots. Native American will get drunk off of 1 shot. They can process it, just not very well. Um, Certain families of Asians, um, they can't process alcohol at all and actually have an allergic reaction to it.
Oh,
Yeah, just because in their where their people evolved, lived for decades, centuries. They didn't have access to alcohol, so they never developed the ability to deal with it.
That that does make sense.
For instance, most Caucasian people, um, they get no nutritional value from corn at all. Um, However, Native Americans get full nutritional value from it because their people grew up eating it. It's one of their mainstays. Um, Same thing for rice. The average American, Caucasian American, gets about half the nutritional value from rice as would someone from Japan or Asia, really.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna look up now. Um, where does rhubarb come from? I gotta see this. Hold on.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay, I'll word it differently. Rhubarb origin. It would be awesome, being if you could give me an answer. Um, the precise origin of culinary rhubarb is unknown. The species rhubarbarum, I guess that's the Latin name, was grown in Europe before the 18th century and used for medicinal purposes. That, according to um, the dictionary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean there was a lot of experimentation back then with medicinal stuff, especially with what the earth gave
Oh yeah.
us. Obviously, we didn't have facilities to make to pop pills back then, so you know.
No. Well, yes and no. Some cultures did, but
Well,
their version of
yeah,
a
but
pill
not
was
as much
very
as we can
different.
today.
No, no. The advent of a lot of new medicines kind of forced us to develop our pill technology.
Yeah, and this rhubarb over here looking like red celery. Literally, just the first time I ever saw it, I thought it was just dyed celery or something. It was a
Nope.
while ago, but now clearly way different than celery. I still wonder. Um, I still wonder how many trials and errors it must have taken, or like this kind of this same question goes along with other things too. Um, this person might have perished or have been seriously ill from this plant, and then person B tries it, person C tries it, or prepares it a different way each time, um, and so on and so forth until they get it right. I mean, the human race overall can be very determined, but
Yes.
sometimes I will say, and I won't say anything specific, but sometimes in the wrong ways, maybe.
Yes.
Sometimes in the right ways, sometimes in the wrong ways, but you know. But do you have any theories on rhubarb by chance?
Um, I'd like to think of it as the way we discovered kiwis, the fruit. Um, Originally, the original kiwi plant was very spiny, and if not cooked, all you had to do was heat it up. Doesn't matter how, just heat. Um, it would be poisonous, like very lethal poison. So what they did is they were looking for a fruit to make alcohol with. So they heated it up. They figured out that it wasn't poisonous when they left it in the sun.
Hmm.
And next person who just ate it raw, they were hungry. They just ate it. They didn't die. They got really drunk, but they didn't die.
Well, that is interesting. And you're okay. You're saying that they got intoxicated from the fruit alone after it sat out in the sun, or was it had it
Yeah,
been? Oh, interesting.
just the fruit because it sat in the sun. It overheated and it started to ferment. Um, and it turns out that old fruit in heat makes alcohol.
I mean, I okay. I know that. Well, yeah, I know that rice isn't a fruit, but didn't I?
Rice wine is a
I,
thing.
I was gonna say rice
Um,
wine. I know there's a thing. I don't exactly know what the kiwi is. Kiwi fruit is from China, correct? Originally.
Not originally. It was from Australia. It was
Really?
discovered in Australia, and the people from China brought it to Japan, to China, and then it proliferated from there.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
The people who discovered the Australian continent. People who discovered the Australian continent was China. Uh, China laid claim to it and sold it to England. Much like how the Louisiana Purchase was originally owned by France, and America bought it from France. So that's the thing. A little bit of history.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And yet we don't know where rhubarb comes from.
Rhubarb has been around for a very long time. Um, can you tell me where corn was discovered?
Uh, no, I don't know that.
Yeah, corn has been around for almost as long as rhubarb. What the
Makes
theory,
sense.
the working theory is it was native to North America, North and South America, anywhere that was wet. Um, and we figured out that you could eat it from the Native American.
Hmm,
That's my guess.
interesting. Well, uh, here and on this topic, I would say that's a very plausible theory, and really, I'm not gonna say it's a right or wrong answer. There
Oh,
are no
make
right or
make
wrong
no
answers.
mistake. I could
Yeah.
I could always be full of crap.
I mean, if even if you are BSing
At
me,
least I have a theory and am thinking about it.
hey, even if you are BSing right now, that sounds quite plausible. Well, man, I really want some rhubarb pie. Funny. I'm the opposite. I've not had just regular rhubarb pie before, but now I want one of the two, either strawberry rhubarb or just plain old rhubarb pie.
Where I live currently, we have something called key lime pie.
Oh yeah, that shit is good.
Yes. Um, However, there's a variant down here made with rhubarb.
Really.
hmm
Hmm.
I've tried it. I personally don't care for key lime, but I've met some people that really like it within rhubarb and have yet to try it in rhubarb.
Hmm. Hmm. Man, that's you're making me want some sweets now. You better stop it. I just bought a pint of ice cream, and that does sound great when we're finished here, but I want my damn rhubarb pie. I might just have to find some place that serves that tomorrow or something. Well, is there anything you'd like to add before we close this topic?
Yes. What is your opinion on rubber duck?
On rubber duck? Just in
Yeah,
general? Like,
in general.
or is this like a meme
Nope.
or something?
No meme. And what is your opinion on rubber ducks?
Uh, I mean, some of my viewers might know of this. I actually had a very interesting experience with my good friend Edson on
hmm
Rec Room one time where we got trapped in a room full of literally hundreds of rubber ducks. It was weird
Really?
as shit. If you like, I could send you a link to the video later, but
Yeah, I'd like that because
it's a
that
really
sounds.
short video, so it's not gonna take up much of your time. But um, anyway, I mean, I guess my opinion of them otherwise is fine. I mean, I used to when I was a toddler, I used to play with them in the tub. I don't know what else to tell you
I
on
have
that.
see, I have autism, so I have had to come up with a list of things to start a conversation.
Well, Jack, I hope you have a good rest of your night. I really appreciate you joining me.
I will. Appreciated being here, and I've got to go beat somebody with a pillow.
Beat someone with a honestly.
Yeah,
Mind if I join? Just
sure. Go ahead.
randomly find your address and just come in fully armed with all the pillows in the house.
I don't think you'd want to. I live in Florida and it's very hot.
Yeah. I don't deal well with the heat. Shoot. Well, I'll I don't know. I guess not then, but that's fine. Well, you have a good rest of your night, Jack.
You too.
All right, bye guys.